How are you feeling today? There is something profoundly strange about what humans call awakening. Most of us believe it is the destination of a long journey, a place where we finally discover light, wisdom, and the answers to everything unknown. Many people have asked me, what do the awakened see? What do they know that I don't? And I often just smile. That very question reveals the entire paradox of seeking. When you ask, what do they see that I don't? You have already assumed that truth lies somewhere else. In another realm, another state of being a place where wisdom resides and you have yet to arrive. But awakening is not about knowing something new. It is about seeing what has always been there. Once the haze of concepts and interpretations dissipates, the awakened do not open a new door. They simply return to where they have always stood. And suddenly, realize everything is still the same. Only their eyes have changed. They no longer look through maps, words, or belief systems. They look directly at life itself unfolding, without naming, without judging, without needing to understand. The rest of us are the eternal seekers. Fail to notice that the harder we search, the further we drift away, because how can you find what was never lost? Perhaps awakening does not lie ahead at all, but in the moment you stop trying to become someone else. When you stop searching, when your eyes stop straining to see something, that is precisely the moment. When what you've been seeking quietly appears. Imagine a quiet afternoon. Before you, there is a tree. Its rough bark, its leaves swaying in sunlight, the light filtering through the branches like the gentle breath of the earth itself. But do you realize most of us never truly see the tree? We only see the word tree inside our minds. The moment our eyes land on it, the mind rushes to label, this one is a banyan, that one is an oak. It gives shade, gives oxygen, and is good for the environment. And in that instant of naming, we lose it. What we see is no longer the living reality before us, but the idea of it neatly labeled, boxed, and stored in the drawers of knowledge. Like someone staring at a map instead of walking in the forest, we see the description of life, not life itself. We no longer hear the rustle of the leaves. We only hear the thoughts saying, the leaves are rustling. We no longer see the sun, we only see the memory of sunlight from some distant day. And in that moment, we have stepped out of the living present and into the mirage of thought. The awakened see differently. They don't need to know the tree's species, don't need to recall its name or interpret its meaning. They simply look deeply, quietly. In that gaze, the boundary between the observer and the observed dissolves. There is only a pure movement. Light, green, breath, and life merging together without effort, without explanation. In that moment, the tree reveals itself, not as an object, but as a dance of existence. And perhaps that is also when a person first begins to see themselves, not through stories, not through images, but through the raw presence of this very moment. Perhaps the most frightening thing is not being lost in the dark, but sleeping soundly under the light, believing you are already awake. Modern humans live surrounded by countless sounds, words, and images. Yet rarely do we truly experience anything. We talk about love, but seldom feel its warmth. We speak of freedom, but spend most of our days imprisoned by fear. We praise the present moment, yet live entangled in memories and plans. We contemplate life far more than we live it. The mind has become a box, where everything we experience must be interpreted, categorized, named, and judged. I like this. I don't like that. This is right. That is wrong. Gradually, we stop seeing the world with our eyes and instead see it through our opinions. We stop listening to others and only hear our own reactions. The world becomes a wall of words, echoing endlessly with our voice. Alan once described it perfectly. It's like a man who spends his entire life looking at pictures of the sea and believes he knows the ocean. Until one day, he finally reaches the shore, steps into the salty water, and when the cold, wild, living waves crash against his chest, he gasps, "Oh my God, this is nothing like the pictures." That is the moment we touch living reality, not through concepts, not through thought. In that instant, everything ever described in books, in words, in philosophy, becomes small and pale, because truly, no language can capture life itself. We are living inside a collective dream, dreaming of ourselves, dreaming of others, dreaming of the past and the future, while the present keeps breathing right here before our eyes. The awakened one is simply the person who wakes up within the dream. They do not leave the world. They simply realize the world was never separate from them. And that is the beginning of true awakening, is not a supernatural experience, but a gaze so clear, so simple, it sees through everything all the way to the bone. Have you ever watched a child? Sitting on the ground, their eyes light up at the sight of a small puddle. They reach out to touch it, splashing water everywhere. And they laugh a pure, unfiltered laugh for no reason at all. In that moment, you are witnessing the purest form of being alive. The child isn't thinking, "I'm playing with water." They're simply touching the moment itself, with their whole body, with their whole heart, without words, without concepts. They don't know what is beautiful or dirty. Don't compare, don't expect. They just know that this right now is enough. In that instant, they are not separate from the universe. They are the universe playing with itself. But then, we grow up. We start being taught how to name everything. This is a flower and that's a butterfly. This is right, that is wrong. We are told to understand, distinguish, and be like adults. Gradually, we learn to leave the present moment and live instead inside our ideas about it. We no longer watch the sunrise. We take a picture of it. We no longer listen to the rain. We think of an old song whenever it rains. We no longer touch life. We are too busy thinking about how we should feel about it. And so, the child within us, that innocent, awake, unguarded part, gets wrapped up, stored away, and labeled childish. We think we've grown up, but in truth, we've only grown further from reality. The awakened don't learn something new. They simply open that box again. See that the child is still there, still sitting quietly in the center of their soul, bright, untouched, never lost. And when they return, they don't become childish, they become real. This is because the child within us has never needed to seek awakening. It was always awake. We just forgot how to see through its eyes. When we were little, adults often bent down and asked, "What's your name?" We answered and they smiled, as if from that moment on, we had officially become someone. A name, a gender, a hometown, a personality. Piece by piece, the story of me was stitched together, and we began to carry it on our shoulders. As we grew older, we internalized those stories. I'm introverted. I'm weak. I'm strong. I'm not good enough. I have to try harder. But have you ever stopped to ask yourself, are these really true, or are they merely echoes? Repeated voices from others, from society, brave from the past until we finally believe they were us? Alan once said, "We live as if trapped inside a skin bag, separate from the rest of the universe." And that's what happens. From childhood, we are taught that we are individuals with our thoughts, emotions, and boundaries. We are told that I is the one in control. I am the one who thinks, chooses, decides, and leads. But if I truly controls everything, then can I stop my thinking right now? Can I command my heart not to feel sad? Or request my mind to cease worrying? You already know the answer. What we call I is nothing more than a stream of thoughts, emotions, memories, and reactions arising and fading like clouds drifting across the sky. If you can observe your thoughts, then you cannot be those thoughts. If you can feel sadness, then you cannot be that sadness. There is something within you, still, clear, unchanging, that simply watches it all unfold. That is your true self. The awakened one realizes this, that they are not defined by the role of me. They are not the voice in the head, constantly judging, I'm good, I'm bad, I'm right, I'm wrong. That I is just a tiny wave, rising from the ocean of consciousness and returning to it. When you begin to see this, when you see the one who is thinking rather than just thinking, everything subtly changes. You are no longer drowned in the mind, you become the witness of it. And in that witnessing, the I that once seemed to be the center of the universe suddenly appears small and fragile. Like a dream dissolving at dawn, what remains silent, unmoving, luminous is who you truly are. You are nameless, formless, and boundless. When the self within us begins to dissolve, we suddenly realize something we never considered before, that the boundary between me and the world has never truly existed. We've always believed we were a separate being standing outside of life, observing the universe from afar, like a spectator watching the painting of existence. But if you look more closely, who is watching whom? When you breathe, air enters your lungs, and in an instant, that air becomes you. When you exhale, you return to the air. When you eat an apple, it becomes your body. When your body decays, it returns to earth, to wind, to water, and flows into other apples again. So where do you begin? And where does the world end? The answer is nowhere, because between you and the universe, there has never been a real dividing line. We only draw one. With language, with concepts to understand, organize, and survive in society. But nature does not recognize those lines. To nature, you are not a small being within the universe, but a pulse of the universe itself. You are merely a fleeting manifestation of a vast living entity, like a wave and the ocean. The wave may think, I am rising, I am breaking, I am falling, but in truth, it is the ocean moving through the form of a wave, and when the wave dissolves, it does not disappear. It simply returns to what it always was, the ocean. The awakened one no longer feels they are living in the world, but the world is living through them. They no longer try to separate themselves to find safety, because they understand all separation is an illusion of the mind. When this is seen, compassion no longer needs to be taught. For hurting another is to hurt oneself. When one hand cuts the other, the whole body feels pain, not because of morality, but because it is one and the same body. In the same way, when we see that all creatures, humans, rivers, grains of sand, are extensions of one another, we naturally begin to treat the world with gentleness. There is no longer me and them. No winner or loser, no right or wrong. There is only the seamless rhythm of a single living totality unfolding. And in that moment, there arises a strange and beautiful feeling, at once small yet infinite, vanishing. We are both fleeting and fully present at the same time, for we finally understand. We were never apart from this ocean. And that is when the awakened one smiles, not because they have found a new truth, but because they have stopped trying to find one. They have simply come home to the place they never truly left. Perhaps one of humanity's greatest illusions is the belief that we are in control of this life. We say, I'm living, I'm trying, I must hold on, manage, and direct. But pause for a moment. Who is it that makes your heart beat? Who digests your food, heals your wounds, keeps your lungs breathing, raises the sun each morning, and lights the stars each night? It isn't you. This life, from the rhythm of your pulse to the movement of galaxies, operates through an intelligence far beyond human calculation. You are not the one controlling it. You are a part of its flow. Like a wave, it's an expression of the ocean. The awakened one realizes they are not living life. Life is living through them. When you smile, you don't make the smile. It blooms naturally when joy arises. When a flower opens, it does not try to bloom. It simply unfolds when the sun is warm and the soil is kind. Everything happens in a subtle, perfect harmony. But humans, out of fear, always want control. We believe that if we let go, everything will fall into chaos. Yet in truth, it is because we try to control that chaos begins. When we try to control emotion, it hardens and hides deeper. When we try to control others, love turns into pressure. When we try to control the future, we lose the present. The awakened see this clearly. They let go not out of weakness, but because they understand there was never anyone holding on. Everything continues to move intelligently, naturally, from the heartbeat to the dance of the stars. And when you see this, you begin to breathe more lightly. You no longer have to keep asking, am I on the right path? Am I doing enough? Because you realize there is no wrong direction. There is no path in this universe. Life does not need you to steer it. It only asks you to be here. And in the moment you stop straining to control, you begin to feel something miraculous. Life knows exactly what it's doing. It has always known how to grow grass, bloom flowers, turn seasons, and heal. It also knows how to guide you through your darkest nights. Until one morning, you wake and see you are never lost. You are simply being lived, being breathed, being moved as one rhythm in the boundless dance of existence. And perhaps in that moment, you'll smile softly. As you come to realize you were never the one in control. You are life itself, dancing its dance through your form. There is an illusion humanity has believed in for thousands of years, an illusion so subtle it seems harmless, and yet it quietly steals from us the most precious thing we have. It is the illusion of time. We believe life is a flowing river. The past is behind us, the future is ahead, and the present just a fragile point between two endless shores. So we keep running, always forward, as if somewhere ahead in the future, something grand awaits our arrival. But look closer. Has the past ever existed anywhere outside your memory? Has the future ever appeared anywhere except within your imagination? The past is only a memory happening now. The future is only a thought arising now. Everything you've ever experienced, everything you're still waiting for is unfolding right here in this moment. The universe knows nothing of yesterday or tomorrow. It only knows now. The living, breathing pulse where all things exist. But humans are rarely there. We live trapped in the echoes of yesterday, or in the anxieties of tomorrow, forgetting that while we contemplate life, life itself is quietly passing by. The awakened were once the same, until they stopped. They stopped running away from the present. They turned back, looked around, and realized everything they had ever sought was always here waiting in this very breath. And then the world became almost unbearably beautiful. The sound of rain was no longer just a sound. It became a symphony of existence. The morning light was spilling through the window, was no longer just sunlight, it was the universe gently touching your skin. You no longer experience time. You become the moment itself, and in that moment, every worry dissolves. Because anxiety can only live in the past or the future. The present, by its nature, is peace. You begin to understand you don't need to chase time because you are time. When time melts away, only presence remains, vast, still, and intimately familiar. You don't have to try to be here and now because truthfully, you've never left. You only need to remember that you are alive, right here in this moment. Something strange happens. When you truly return to the present moment, when the mind stops running, stops grasping, stops fighting with itself, the world outside remains exactly the same. But you are no longer the same. Sounds still echo. People still live, laugh and cry. But inside you, a new space opens vast, still and luminous. It's not a fragile piece you must protect, but a natural stillness, like a lake that doesn't need to try to be calm. You still feel emotions, but they no longer sweep you away. Sadness comes, you see it. Joy comes, you see it too. And in both, you remain the witness. You realize suffering was never inside the pain itself, but in the resistance to it. When there's no resistance, pain is just a sensation and then it fades, like a small wave touching the shore. In the same way, joy no longer brings fear of loss. You savor it fully because you know when you don't cling, joy becomes pure. The awakened do not run from sorrow nor cling to happiness. They rest in awareness, like the sky that stays silent even as clouds drift across it. Life continues. There is work, friction, imperfection, but you are no longer swept away. You move within life, yet are no longer of its turbulence. You hear a criticism, but you don't react, you understand. You face sadness, but you don't collapse, you see? You smile at a small, simple moment, not for any reason, but simply because you are alive. And then you understand. Peace was never something to search for. Peace is your natural state, only hidden before by the noise of thought. When that noise quiets, you no longer need to become peaceful. You simply need to be. And in that stillness, everything continues, but now, everything seems to unfold within you, not against you. Life remains as it is. The only difference is you have become the seer. The one no longer lost within the dream, but awake inside it, watching everything unfold with clear eyes and a very gentle smile. And then, when every layer of seeking has fallen away, when you no longer try to understand, to grasp, to become someone else, a very particular stillness begins to appear. Not the stillness of outer silence, but the stillness that unfolds within. Every sound, every movement, every shimmer of light, they are all still there. But now, you are no longer separate from them. You are no longer the observer looking at the world. The world itself is looking through your eyes. You are no longer someone living inside reality. Reality is living itself through your breath, your heartbeat, your gaze. All boundaries dissolve. There is no longer me and life. Only life, recognizing itself through your form, through everything that simply is. And in that moment, you see, you never needed to find awakening. Because awakening was never a destination. It is the very essence of life itself, what has always been here, whether you remember it or forgot. The teachings, the philosophies, the dialogues, they are only maps. They can point the way, but they cannot let you taste the truth. And the truth reveals itself only when you stop reading the map and begin to walk. When you look without naming. When you listen without interpreting. When you touch without thinking about what is being touched. In that moment, everything becomes transparent. There is no one who experiences, only the experience itself, unfolding. And in the deepest depth of that awareness, you see, reality was never apart from you. It is you. You are the light through which everything is seen, not the thing being illuminated. You are consciousness, unconfined by form, untouched by time. And when that is seen, there is no celebration, no grand revelation, only a very soft smile, a sense that the universe has just exhaled through you, and you have dissolved into that breath. No more questions, no more answers, only pure clarity. And when you open your eyes to look at the world again, it remains the same. People, stories, joys and sorrows, life and death. But this time, you are no longer lost among them. You are within them, like a breeze, like a ray of light, a part of the whole, at once small and infinite. And perhaps, in this quiet moment, as you read these words, reality too is listening to itself through your ears, your breath, your heart. And you realize what you've been seeking all along was you. And that's the content of this episode. If you feel a sense of resonance with these reflections, don't forget to follow the channel and stay tuned for the upcoming episodes. See you soon. Bye.